night shift. The night shift. The night shift. Listening to the Night Shift podcast. Listening to the Night Shift podcast.
We're all in this together. So.
Yeah. Actually, real quick. Well, there is an intro song already.
This is the night shift. Night shift.
So I need you to just say the night shift. All like badass. Like,
okay.
Put on your shades and be like, the night shift.
The night grift.
Like, do you want me to be like sexy with it? Like
sexy
the night,
with it.
The night shift, girl.
Night shift.
Not do that. Do just straight face.
The night shift.
Or Lana, your turn.
To do what?
Just the night shift.
The night shift.
If that's how you're going to do it, that's how it is. So in the beginning intro song, we have like everyone who's been on saying the night shift in the intro song. So now I'm just going to add you guys into it, and it's going to be the night shift.
Good.
It's going to be in there. It's great. Yeah. So welcome to the Night Shift podcast. I'm your host, Zachary C. Brady. And with me, I have three other members of the Night Shift. I guess we're all co-hosts. Why not? It's a party now. We got Tristan.
Hi.
R. Blum.
My JR token.
And then we have Lana Boyle.
Hello.
And then we have Alex Taboo.
What up?
Taboo.
I'm sorry, let me do that again.
Thibaut.
What up?
There it is. There's the jelly I'm looking for. The juice.
The juice.
Can't miss the juice.
Fully concentrated.
In the little frozen can. You guys ever have the juice? Like when you were a kid growing up, like the stuff that's in a can frozen and you have to like add water to it? Yeah. You had to like, or even maybe it wasn't a plastic thing, it was a paper thing. And you had to like hop off the, yeah.
Yeah, that's showing your age.
Oh yeah.
Like the paper thing. And
with aluminum
it's got,
tops.
like the concentrate in it and you mix it with water.
Exactly.
I think those were going out right as we were entering elementary school.
like
They're not a thing anymore? You can't buy them?
I think they're in
they-
plastic now.
Okay.
But yeah, like, oh man, those used to like freeze solid.
Yeah.
And it was like, if you were gonna make it, you
wrestle
were
with them.
either gonna like fight that, and, like basically end up attacking it with a knife, like, or you just had to wait like 4 hours for it to thaw enough to get it out of the can.
What I did
was infuriating.
What I did was I just ran hot water over it. Then I learned that was a terrible idea because apparently that's how bacteria grows if you go from really cold to really hot really quickly. So, call it kombucha, I guess, right?
Inventor of kombucha.
Still haven't had kombucha. Still don't know what it tastes like. Is it really that gross?
I like it. It's weird.
It's weird. If you're not into weird things, like if you're not into health food, you're going to be like, ew, gross, bacteria, microbiome bull. Wow. But if you're like into health food stuff, you're going to be like, oh, how many vitamins? You'll like start looking at all the, the shit in it.
Look at it.
I mean, not
this way.
literally that, but
That's our next video. We all try kombucha.
No.
Look at it this way, like
three vitamins in this kombucha.
there are
kombucha.
there are some like
It's
balsamic vinegars
kombucha.
that are good enough where you could just like
Go
sip
eating
that
kombucha.
shit. Like, and it's like it has kind of a vinegar taste, but in a good way.
Sorry.
So where
We just broke the golden rule.
can
I kicked it.
where can I find? Yeah, don't move the friggin' table.
Sorry.
Make my life a hell.
Can you
and
find the
everything.
restroom?
Yeah, where can we find this golden kombucha?
Yeah.
Some bucci.
I don't know where I can find kombucha.
Kombucha?
There's one called like
Showing
a
our
brand called
Wisconsinite.
Health Aid that has like it's like a pink lady apple one that's really good. Yeah, like they got some good fruit flavors. Like I don't think I've ever had it where it's just like it's just unflavored kombucha. I think that would be a bit much.
I tell you what, why don't you, without telling me, slip me some kombucha?
Oh, okay.
Just be like, here, I got some.
Drink this non-kombucha.
Well, drink this iced tea or whatever the it is, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Here, take this thing that isn't kombucha.
It's not
Have
kombucha.
A sip. Have a sip of it.
Trust me.
It's not kombucha.
It's not kombucha. It's not kombucha.
It's Gatorade.
It's Gatorade.
I don't know.
It's Aidorade.
AIDS-erade?
AIDS-erade.
What?
Careful.
Oh,
man.
Old Gatorade. Just try it. It's good.
Sure. So we forgot a mic,
Yeah, it's
which
fun.
isn't my fault.
It's 100% his fault.
It's not my fault.
It's all right.
It's not your fault.
I forgive him.
It's not your fault.
So
Send
yeah,
your
we're
hate mail to Tristan R.R. Blum, 128 Fuck Street.
no,
Yeah,
it's
I can't-
it's
Fuck Street.
Crestview.
I
Crest Drive. Sorry,
I can't wait to not read any of it.
I can't wait to bleep
Right.
that out or not bleep that out. Yeah, it's 1010 Crest Drive
Trust?
in Wisconsin 532.
Well, you got it wrong, but I'll
I
let
was
you
gonna say,
slide.
1-2 goes that far?
No,
No?
I just don't know the actual.
Why don't we
zip code.
not talk about my
couldn't
address?
skip a beat.
09 in Glendale or
I couldn't skip a beat.
It's 5, 3, 1. Shut the fuck up. Oh, oops, that's not Coach. God darn it. Sorry.
It's okay. I'll just
darn it.
beep up the entire section.
Yeah.
So we're here to talk about the Milwaukee 48-hour film challenge or film project or festival.
Yeah.
It's called a lot of stuff, but anyways, we participated in it as the night shift. Alex took a little bit of a hiatus and went and worked with some close some close collaborators of
It
ours.
says trader on my business card. That's what I
Right.
do.
He's a professional trader.
Yeah.
Treason.
Right, the whole project
I
took 48
betray
hours.
my friends.
Yeah. So the whole project from start to finish, writing, shooting, and editing took 48 hours.
Technically 47 hours and 58 minutes if you actually do the math, but... Oh, wait, we can get into that.
Yeah, we totally can get into that. So the fun thing is, if you've never done it, every project I've heard of and every project I've been on so far, which has only been the two, but every project I've heard of, they usually save the last day as the day for editing. So like usually you start Friday night because it starts usually at like 6 or 7 on Friday night. And this is how almost every one of them goes. And then most people like write during the night, maybe they'll shoot something. And then Saturday proper, they shoot as much as they can. And then they start getting into editing. And some people stay up all night. Some people, they stay up they use the whole 48 hours.
Some people use more and they just don't submit at all.
Yeah.
Right.
But we actually got sleep. And we started editing in the morning on Sunday. And, I took a healthy break. I maybe shouldn't have, with Lana, and we went and got food. Came back, and I'm like, oh, that took a little bit longer than I anticipated.
I did not hear about
Oh
this.
yeah, we went to
What?
Culver's. Yeah.
What?
Oh,
We
man.
went to Culver's.
Wait, that was...
Okay. I was hungry. I hadn't eaten anything all day.
Yeah?
Lana remembers this.
You went to the Culver?
And we went to the Culver,
Yep.
and got some food in my system, some electrolytes. Need the electric lights to do the electric work. Electrolytes does the body good. And
We're on a game today.
we were a minute and a half, I think. It was like a minute and a half away from disqualifying,
Yeah?
turning it in. We weren't alone because there was another, actually Alex's team
Yes.
was also there at the turn-in venue,
editing our asses off.
and you guys didn't finish in time.
No.
That's really sad.
That is, I think the thing that we suffered from was like we were a very newly acquainted team. Like I knew technically 3 people out of like the 7 or 8 that were a part of our team, and like I was there for like the writing portion. I went home and slept really quickly, and then I was there shooting it the following morning, and we shot the entire day. We were kind of derailed by rain. Luckily, our team leader, Cameron Curran of 1077 Films, was awesome. He secured so many locations and everything like that. So, like we were very well prepared. However, we did push our time limit, like as far as shooting, like you said, you shoot Saturday, you edit Sunday.
Yep.
We were still shooting on Sunday, We shot like a huge chunk of it, and I don't know. I take on a lot of roles, which I probably shouldn't. I'm cocky in that way, but like I was the DP and the gaffer, so it was like I was waiting on myself to finish lighting the scenes, and it's like I can come up with all of these like insane plans, but it's like I also have to execute them, and that takes time. So that caused a lot of delay. Like we were only supposed to be shooting until like 11 a.m. We shot until like 2:30 p.m.
Oh my gosh, dude! No wonder you guys didn't get done in time.
And then but it was a valiant effort. Like we were furiously editing at Art Bar.
I bet, and I think you guys almost got it in. You just was like 5 minutes after the bell. You had a cut ready.
Yeah, it was like before we had a cut ready. It was just 4 minutes too long, so we had to like re-edit it and cut it down.
Technically, if your 4 minutes too long, you didn't finish editing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but
I get you. Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like it was insane because we were there and it was like it was the best effort. Like I had a brand spanking new laptop. Well, I have a brand spanking new laptop that was like crushing the edit. We thought we were gonna miss it by just not finishing rendering, and the rendering time was like 4 minutes for that 11-minute film.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Carlos because he was editing on his MacBook Air, the new M1 MacBook Air, and I thought like, okay, it probably can handle the footage decently well, but how is it going to do with rendering? I didn't think it was going to be able to render quick enough. Literally took him like 10 minutes. 10 minutes to render roughly 7-minute cut. I think it's like 6 minutes and 40 seconds or something like that. And I guess to jump in with a restriction. So one of the restrictions of the 48-hour that some people may not be aware of is you have to make the film with between 4 and 7 minutes long, not including 1 minute of credits at the end of your film. But like basically the clock is running as soon as you hit start, and you have, I think there's the 5 or 10 seconds worth of slating in the beginning that you have to do. But like, that aside, you have 4 minutes to 7 minutes of a cut that you have to put together. Then if it's over that, you missed. You will be disqualified from the thing. You lost, basically. But yeah, Carlo's machine like had no problem rendering that thing, and it was crazy because it's a MacBook Air. It's a little MacBook Air M1, and he had no problems. It was amazing. And then my rig had no problems either, which is nice because I was editing off of an SSD. But like, that's not a surprise. It's a gaming rig, so like it should. But I digress. Yeah. So let's get into your experiences. Like 48-hour. This was, Tristan and Lana. This was your first 48-hour that you had ever done.
Oh, I would so do that apartment again. It was nice and cool in there. Like, jeez, that was great. Yeah.
Very temperate.
It was just nice breeze coming from all the windows. Yeah.
I think the one scene between you and Brittany, when you're sitting in their living room. They call it a dining room. It's not a dining room. It's a living room.
It's a living room.
It has a TV. It's got a couch. It's a living room. Whatever.
Right.
But you guys are sitting there at the coffee table, and you go from you, and your hair is like plastered to your forehead, and it's very obvious you're like baking in there. Brittany looks about the same, and like it still looks really great, and you guys look good, but like it's very obvious it's fucking hot in there.
Right. So like
boiling in there.
It's like 89 degrees with a humidity of over 70%. What do the actors need to be comfortable? I got it. Candles. Lots of them.
Yep.
Right?
And we had.
And we're going to close the door while we're at it. And the windows.
And we're going to put in a fog machine or
and it's going to take forever between every two. And it's fine. We did a good job. But I'm like, oh my God, I need to get out of here. Stupid. I swear a lot. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Right?
What are you going to do? But yeah, no, it was really hot, really sweaty. We had candles. We had a haze machine. And it looks great.
It does.
It looks fantastic.
Does. Yeah.
But holy cats, man. I pretty sure like I don't know how I didn't like pass out from heat exhaustion because I was sweating like a pig. Everyone else, it was a big old sweaty time.
Oh yeah.
But aside from the sweat and the heat, like what did you think of the whole process of like basically being shoved into a room with a bunch of people and equipment and just saying, hey, make a film.
So
48 hours.
Do the thing. Well, I mean, like sometimes you're very specific, other times not very specific. Because like there was this one moment where I had to get frustrated because I didn't get the girl, and like he was like, okay, like kick the table or something. Because I punched it.
Yeah, you did.
And I'm like, oh, oops, that was. And I can't be subtle with that sort of thing, because when someone says kick the table, I'm like, okay, actually kick it with all of my might. And so at the end of the scene,
you want friggin' incel strength
well,
on that.
I just totally freaked out Brittany. Like like the scene's going great. I did my lines. Brittany got him out, and I'm like, okay. And then I kick the thing like 3 feet in front of me, and I see everybody on set. Well, like, oh my god, and I'm like, oh, I definitely did not do that right. Yeah. And then the second try, I also didn't do it right. And everyone's like, the first take's fine. It's fine. We're just moving on. I'm like, crap. So that was...
No, it's the challenges of... Because I directed for R48, and the challenges are innumerable for the actors. They're challenging for the director. The director. Let me just voice crack a little bit more.
Puberty Part 2.
Puberty Part 2.
Revenge of the Puberty.
The puberting. Yeah. But no, I think the thing that I struggled a lot with was figuring out how to take the thing we wrote, which was good, but then like also while I'm managing how we're doing the technical side of things, which I had to be involved in directing it. I had to work with Carlo a lot, and Carlo did a fantastic job of DPing. He had great people to work with. He had Kong, our AC, and he had Kate gaffing, and Lana was really helpful, and Craig was rocking audio, and all those things were really great. But like on top of managing that and then being hot as balls, I then also have to get emotional with it and like try to figure out, okay, are they telling the story, or are we telling the story we want to tell? And how are we not doing that? I have to then dip away from like the practical of how are we going to physically do this? How are we going to block things? Where am I going to place actors? And the script had to change. Had to be super organic because we're trying to make a film in 48 freaking hours. It's gonna move a little bit, right?
Right. Sorry, I couldn't make the poster.
See, yeah, I gotta say, like, wearing multiple hats sucks. Being able to wear multiple hats is great. But like when you have to wear multiple hats like that is really...
Yeah, like
they'll start to fall off.
Right?
Wow, that's a good metaphor. I like playing in the metaphor. I like that.
My brain was like, don't say it, and then you said it, so I didn't have to.
I don't think anyone's ever made that joke before. There's probably a really good reason for that.
Sorry, I have to.
It's fine, but yeah, no, I liked it. I thought it was a good experience. What about you, Alex? What was your experience?
It was a great experience. I would have liked to have been like a little bit more refined with the team dynamics and everything like that, and just kind of, being able to say like, you know what, like a gaffer, I feel like having a like lead gaffer would have been wonderful, and I think that would have made us so much faster. I mean, like, I think the storm and the rain was just kind of like an act of God, and God was pissed that day for some reason. But yeah, I mean, like, even
he was upset and was asked to kick a table.
You shall not make a 48-hour film in this weather.
Right? Like, there was a point we were actually outside of Leon's, and we'd gotten permission to shoot there, so we were going to use that location. And I mean, like,
it's kind of awesome.
There are lots of lights there. It's like, it's really good, but like...
Yeah, that shot is really awesome, by the way. When you show Leon's, I'm like, okay, how the hell did they pull that off? Like, I'm kind of pissed.
I had my C-stand and I boomed a light over, like, onto the car. And then, like, I got ready to, like, just charge in with my gimbal. And then the sky opens up and it's just like... Yeah, God's taking a leak on this whole project, and like, and then we were there and we were just trying to figure out like other ways that we would go about doing it, and then like we got like breaks in the rain, and we just ran out and like set everything up and got ready to go. then it started to rain again. So it was like we did that a couple of times, and then luckily we got the shot. And I was just like, I was so determined. It's like, because it's like, when you're like, I'm going to get the shot, I'm going to knock the scene out of the park for both of you. Like, I'm gonna direct out of this shit, the poop out of this poop. I'm sorry.
Poop out of this poop. I'm gonna coin that one.
Right.
It's gonna be the quote for the whole episode. The poop out of this poop. You got the shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Sorry.
then I mean, like we still had
trash.
we still had things to do, and it was like everybody was beat. Like I mean, there's in the world of photography, which I came out of, like there's such a thing as model fatigue. Well, you also have like actor fatigue, and honestly, like I think our actors were professionals, and I think I was probably more worn out because I was running around with this like 20-pound gimbal rig.
Sorry.
Fat V mount. attached
You want
to
to talk
something.
actor fatigue? Like I had like just one perfect moment where I was really tired and we were in that scorching hot room, and I went to the balcony and I just threw my t-shirt on the ground and I lay up and look at the other balcony above me for like, I don't know, for like a good 30 seconds. I had all this time to myself, and then all of a sudden Zach comes out, and then Carlo comes out, and then everybody else is on the balcony with me, and I'm just like lying there without my shirt on and just looking like hi. And I didn't want to move up because I'm like, this is my moment. This is like when I get to have a chance to just relax, and then everyone else just
Oh man,
came out. Yeah,
I've seen Carlo like at the end at just like
right.
just on E before, where it was like on the first opera video that we did with Early Music Now, like there was one point where it's like we had a scheduled break, and it's like once we got to that, like not a second wasted, it's just like, where's Carlo? And we just like look around and we find him like in one of the bedrooms in the house that that Allison's family owns, and like he's just like laid out, and he's just like, I'm not moving until I have to. Like,
Need a moment.
yeah, I mean, like, granted,
Over with Twix.
professional, because I mean, like when it came time to get up and do the damn thing, he did the damn thing. But it's just like when you're that fatigue, like
Yeah.
that is nothing to mess with. I mean, I can't overstate that enough. Like it's
Yeah.
it really
Don't
is
mess with
something.
fatigue.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah, and it's not even like there's the physical fatigue aspect to it, and then there's like the mental fatigue aspect. And I think people who are new to this or new to filmmaking, actually, this is good time to bring up. Lana, this was your first like big time film set, kind of, right?
Big
Yeah, that's
time.
true.
So like, did you experience? Because I'm curious about this, because like it's the mental fatigue is something I think everyone who is in film is very much aware of, especially when you're like, when you're doing things for passion. You're doing a passion project, and you're doing things for the shot. You do anything for the shot, right?
Yeah.
Like there's that fatigue to it. Have you had that happen to you while doing like YouTube stuff before, or like if you felt like similar, like a vibe similar to that?
I mean, sometimes when we used to do Let's Plays, we would shoot for like hours and hours and hours of like playing this game over, like playing the game for a really long time, and then you get to the point where in your brain you're like, I don't even know what to do anymore. Like, I don't know where to go. I don't know how to be funny. Like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And you have to just be like, all right, we're done. We can't record anymore for the day, or it's just going to be trash, like not usable.
So you're familiar with that feeling then?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah. Well, I mean,
your brain's on E.
I can imagine it's like people don't understand the fact that like, they're watching you play this game, but you're working hard. And it's like to even like present as though like, oh, I'm just having fun, ha ha ha. I'm charismatic and bubbly and everything like that. And it's like you're pretending like, oh, there are no takes at all, but really this is like take 9.
Right.
Like that is like my failed YouTube journey was like that too, like where it's just like, yeah, I'm like obviously like I have a script of some sort, or I have an idea that's very premeditated, and I'm trying to present it as like something spontaneous. And yeah, that seems like it's, I don't know. Like I can only imagine with like a Let's Play where, like you say, it's hours and hours. I feel like that would be exhausting.
Yeah, if everyone's interested in Let's Plays, should we, what is it, put in a plug for After Hours really quick for anyone
Sure.
else interested?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Night Shift After Hours is going to be the other podcast on this channel for people who aren't really interested in super serious discussion and kind of want to just relax, maybe like have a game visual and I don't know, just hang out with us for a good 30 minutes or so. We're thinking about playing, what was that one game? Hades.
Oh yeah, I like that. It's on Switch. It's called Hades. It's a really good game. I would get it if you don't have it.
Yeah, we're
It's not. It's like an indie game, so it's not that expensive.
well, that's not the point of it. Just so you're talking about fatigue and like knowing when you have to stop. And the thing that's really nice about a Let's Play, especially like when the two of us do it, is like we're always playing off one another. So as long as like we're both on our game, if we have like 30 seconds or a minute of being off, the other person has the responsibility of making it funny. And then like I don't know, just we usually bounce off each other for a good 45 minutes to an hour, maybe even 2 hours sometimes. And then there comes a moment where we're like, you know what? This just ain't funny anymore.
I mean, we would record Ocarina. We would do forever sometimes.
Yeah.
3 hours, 4 hours.
Yeah.
Of playing the game straight, just to try to get as much done as possible. Because I remember you were leaving, so
Right.
we have like a deadline to get all of this recorded by. Play the whole fucking game.
And you just have to make it work. Like that's the thing about improv is like whatever you throw at me, I now have to juggle with it and I have to throw it back at you in a way that like we can keep the motion going. What did Paul say? What was his line? Keep
Motion of the ocean.
I don't think that's right. That's not how you say it, right? Didn't someone say that
is.
was an expression?
It's not the size of the boat; it's the motion of the ocean.
That's the expression, but he said it's like it's the motion in your ocean.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
Well, it's not a spoiler, not
Yeah.
technically.
But no, yeah, I mean, like I can relate to that, because like one of the things that I wanted to do in my YouTube life in a past life was travel vlogs, and like, I mean, I remember like I had this trip to New York, and
New York.
it was
Here I am in New York.
forget about it.
Forget about
and I was like, I would turn on the camera and try and be charismatic, which I'm not the most charismatic guy, but like I would try it, and like on top of that, like when I get like migraines and stuff like that, like I am barely coherent. Like I mean, like I have very little idea what's going on around me. My words don't always become sentences and
Which
things
way
like
is
that.
up?
Right? And it's like I press that record button and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Alex. Like, welcome to the cream."
Right.
So,
Hello, how are you
yeah.
doing?
But yeah, I mean, like, it's just, yeah, it's like it sucks when you have like that fatigue or that exhaustion, or if your like head's not in it, but it's just like you got to do it. You got to just turn it on and push through. And it's like, and until you can't anymore.
I think it's a matter of not trying too hard. I mean, people can tell when you're
Yeah,
Very true.
just
I agree. Like, I find it works a lot better if you just be yourself rather than trying to come off as charismatic.
right.
Just kind of hang out and be like. I feel like for YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that, that's what people want to see. They want to see you be genuine and like you for the person that you are. You know what I mean?
Let me see. I always kind of worry about. I was worried about like the spotlight and the way that the spotlight makes people behave, because I feel like it's often one of two extremes where it's like, I mean, like if it's like a trauma thing, I feel like there are a lot of people that will try and like capitalize on trauma in a way that like that seems disingenuous, or there are the people that are just like my life is perfect, like check out like my Instagram of a life,
Right.
like it's just, I don't know. I feel
Think of any Instagram and think of any Instagram, any advertisement made in like the last 5 years. Like how many of them actually come across as genuine, and how sick are you of seeing the same thing over and over and over again? Like when I'm thinking about making a YouTube channel for people who are our age, like we're 23, so we're like, I think a little separated, definitely from you, maybe a little bit from Zach, but I love anything that comes across as like sincere or genuine, because you just there's so little of it on the internet, because it's always like a regurgitation of something else, or trying to make your life look a lot better than it actually is. So when you actually hear someone just trying to be themselves and not making an effort to be anybody else, it's very refreshing. And that's kind of like the goal that we have for, our little comedy do, is like, don't try, just who cares? There are going to be people who hate us, and then other people who are really into it. And when we find those people, that's when we'll know that we've done the right thing.
I think that's like one of the variables that YouTube can't really account for, is how genuine a channel comes off, because that's one thing that I still have to, as a user of YouTube and as of Instagram, all that stuff. That's one thing you still have to sift through. Like when you go through your recommended videos after you just watch something from your subscriber list, right? Yeah, something you subscribe to puts out a new video, you will watch it, and there's like recommended videos. When you're sifting through those, because you know how YouTube works, it just keeps you going, keep watching stuff, right?
And you find yourself in really weird places.
You sure do. But like on your way, you come across channels like what you're describing, where people are incredibly disingenuous, and they're literally content milling, right, to get the views, to get the monies, and like you don't stick around for those. You usually find yourself ending up on another channel that comes off genuine and comes off with real information, useful information, and a perspective that's either genuinely funny just because it's, people having fun, right?
Yeah.
Seriously having fun.
Right. Exactly.
So
I think what makes something funny is like you're somehow uncovering a truth that everybody knows intuitively, and then it's like it's encapsulated in a very clever language that people relate to. Silence?
Silence? No, I was thinking about there's this. So when we were going down the rabbit hole, remember with the one guy from Japan, and he wanted us to help him make comedy on his YouTube channel, and he wanted to somehow mix Japanese comedy and American comedy, and I went down the rabbit hole of like, okay, so I think I know what comedy is. Let me go down this rabbit hole of figuring out, okay, what the hell is the difference between American comedy and Japanese comedy, or any other country's comedy for that matter? And it's a very obvious, line that you can cross as going from American comedy to British comedy. And what's the main difference? Well, it's the difference of focus. You go from focusing on the people trying to make a joke, and the joke being about those people. Like, for instance, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, very American comedy. The joke isn't about anybody else but themselves. If you go to Japan, and I was like trying to figure out Japanese humor is so weird, dude. I still don't understand it.
Me neither.
And you're like embedded in Japanese culture pretty heavily.
I tried talking to a couple of my friends, and like I've used very English sarcasm with them, and then they're like, "What? Are you serious?" Like, you know how you have that intonation to your voice where it's like very obvious from the context that you're saying exactly the opposite?
Hey, speaking of context, just so everyone knows, you're speaking Japanese to your Japanese friends from Japan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So for our listeners, you're speaking Japanese to people who live in Japan,
yes,
have Japanese culture, and you're using American sarcasm.
Yes.
In that context, it does not fly.
It does not fly whatsoever, because they usually take you seriously, because if you just say the opposite of what you mean, like there's already a context culture embedded in the language.
Yeah.
So that doesn't translate very well, because they just read it as you're saying, like maybe you say something in direct language, but really behind it you're trying to say something else, and you mean it. Not that there's a joke.
Right.
In what you're saying, but
yeah,
I still don't get it. I never will.
Yeah, because I've looked at some Japanese humor. Like if you look at anime, I feel like a lot of anime caters to American and more so just Western humor in general. Like if you look at anime and manga and stuff, and when they make jokes, it's still self-deprecating and they're kind of in on it, right? But like there's like an American twist to it, where if you look at genuine Japanese comedy that's literally only for Japanese audiences, for example, Japanese game shows, I don't get it at all. I can't even wrap my head around what the hell is even happening. I don't even know what the purpose of the game show is, dude. Like I don't even know who are these people, and why do they seem so familiar?
We're the ones without the context. It's not their fault. It's our fault.
Correct. Yeah, I'm not saying like they owed context. I'm just saying like I just think comedy is a really interesting topic to get into when you start like, because there's subgenres of comedy, right? There's prop comedy and there's slapstick comedy, and there's all these different subgenres of comedy just in America itself, right? Or in the West, I should say. But then you go into other cultures and the comedy just shifts. There's just such a weird shift of like focus and kind of like what is actually funny.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not even like necessarily the situations change.
Yeah.
Because there's a part of comedy that's universal. I don't know. I could go. It's like, thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
I don't know, man. You're talking about the English, and you said that there's like a humility to it. I don't necessarily know about. Maybe you could say that. I think that there's more wordplay that they use English a little.
There's definitely wordplay in there too, for
like,
sure. But
I'm the doctor. Who? Yes.
Right. Yeah. It's more
Right.
dry. It's
honestly,
and witty humor too.
Honestly, though, I think I want to say that like Americans, like I guess American humor has, well, pretty much any humor has like the opportunity to grow and evolve. And like, I mean, if you take an influence, if you take like a European influence or something like that, you can apply it. Like, I don't think it's necessarily that like American humor is all dumb and slapstick. Cause I mean, like there is brilliant like American humor. Like, I mean,
100%. I agree. Yeah.
And I guess I guess you probably can look at it like, okay, our audience is maybe a little bit more homogenous than the creatives. But I mean, like, as far as like, you know, that humility, that like subtlety, like I honestly, Community is like the best thing ever. Cause like, I feel like they all have, they're such different characters, and I feel like they all kind of make themselves the ass of the joke, but at the same time, it's just like, I mean, I feel like there were so many layers of comedy going on there.
Oh yeah, Community was a very interestingly written show, and it wasn't just written by the writers. Like the writers were also acting, so like there's that many layers to it already, and I think that helped make it a really interesting show. Same thing with like Rick and Morty, where Dan
Harmon, you're getting all the love here.
Dan Harmon, he's a good comedy writer. What do you want?
Dan Harmon, work with the night shift. We love you.
But no, like I think like another interesting spin to that is if you look at black comedy and you look at like something like Friday and Next Friday and like what that looks like, or you know, Barbershop. Look at all these black comedy movies that are just really funny and really good at what they're doing, but they're also embedded in a culture that like you kind of have to be included in that culture to get some of those jokes, but you also don't. Like I, as a white guy who grew up in a relatively, you know, lower middle class home, but like I didn't grow up in the hood, right? I didn't grow up in a place that someone would describe as the hood, and like I still get those jokes. They're still funny to me, and I feel like I learned things by watching that stuff too. But like, it's still an interesting dynamic to comedy that I wouldn't have had I never watched that stuff. You know, or watching comedians like, you know, as household names as they are now. At one point, they weren't, like Kevin Hart and Eddie Murphy and.
Dude, Eddie Murphy needs to do another stand-up.
What was that guy in Rush Hour? What was his name? Chris Tucker. I love Chris Tucker's comedy. He's hilarious, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He is brilliant. Like, honestly, like I know I've seen him do a few things recently. Like, and
he did a comedy special coming back, like 2019, 2020, something like that. I can't remember.
Think so.
But yeah, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like even as an actor, like he's a solid performer, like all around. And honestly, like it's kind of odd that his career hasn't been like stronger.
Well, I think the reason for that, to go on a side tangent, is because he, after the Rush Hour movies, or even during the Rush Hour movies, he married into a Muslim family, and he like, I don't know if he converted to Islam or if he was like already kind of like that, but just wasn't faithful and then decided to be. But like as soon as like after Rush Hour, he was pretty much done acting. He didn't want to like jump back into that pot. And I think, I don't know what has changed recently, but he decided to get back into stand-up. And I don't know why, but he did. And it's still funny. It's not as funny as it used to be. His prime is in the past, but like, man, that guy was just so funny at the Def Comedy Jam specifically.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
You know what though, I feel like with a lot of performers like that, especially like when you're a creative and a performer, I feel like you just have to be immersed in it. Like, and I guess like the way that I kind of look at it is I mean, I pay a lot of attention to like rappers, and a lot of times I feel like if you're great, you kind of wind up on this island by yourself, and it's like you don't find yourself like around other people in your caliber and like in your class.
You don't find yourself as challenged as often.
And then it's like, and I feel like that is like the trap. You get comfortable and then you fall, or it's like you don't keep honing your craft. You don't stay like razor sharp. Whereas like, I mean, when you're hungry, when you're like a filmmaker who is just trying to get on, you know, like you network, you meet a band of people, you call yourselves the Night Shift, and it's like you basically have that synergy, and it's like you make some of like the best shit of your career, and you
which includes doing a 48-hour that for some reason turned out really, really well.
Yeah, like I mean, like
to bring it back full circle.
It really did turn out so well.
Yeah,
I'm really annoyed with it. Actually, I'm annoyed at how good it is.
Yeah.
Why?
Because
I'm happy about it.
Well, I'm happy about it on one hand. Okay, to be 100% honest, I'm happy that it turned out as well as it did. And none of you can see it yet because we can't show it until after the premiere, which was coming soon, but TBD.
It's, September 13th.
Yeah, is the date. But like I'm really happy and I'm really proud of everybody, and I learned a lot of good things about efficiency and you know, just kind of going with the flow versus having it my way. At the same time, on the other hand, Mr. Lefty over here, the neglected, I feel like we all missed out on an opportunity to really try to do something that is outside of our comfort zone, because I feel like we didn't really we played it safe.
Yeah, we did.
We shot in one location. We shot a rom-com sort of script, which I specialize at writing. It's like my wheelhouse. I know how to do those really, really well. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that's the genre we got. We had to do romance / school film, which we did. Yeah. And it turned out really good.
We were in the room. I was looking at you. I'm like, Zach's got an idea. We're going to go to the airport. It's going to rain, but we're going to film it, and this is going to be a lot better than Quest.
I wanted to go to the airport specifically because it was going to rain. Because when it's wet down, dude, it looks so good. Doesn't it look good? It does. Especially when you went to Leon's, didn't it look even cooler after it rained?
Yes. I'm having my rage moment because you guys got romance. I love rom-coms.
Oh, shoot.
Take my man card, whatever. I love like romance in film and everything like that, because it can be tastefully done. It can be like horrible. It can be sickening.
I have a question for you.
But we got sports mockumentary.
I'm kind of upset.
That sounds kind of fun and easy, though.
Yeah, I'm upset I didn't get that one, because I feel like
we could have traded.
Oh man, I would have.
Man,
dude, I would have.
Like a comedy about people being bad at sports or something.
Yeah,
I would have been.
It writes itself, man. It writes itself.
Nah.
Have Paul be your dad, and he's like, or trying to coach you guys, and like you're trying to like do it in the rain. Like, it writes itself, man. You guys you guys took a weird direction with it.
Yeah. Should have done when I'm bowling.
Yeah, which is still cool. Like, don't get me wrong, but that was out there. I did not see that coming. I'm like, sports mockumentary. Oh, they probably did something with football. That's what I would have done.
Yeah.
But you guys did bowling, dude.
Yeah.
10
Strikeout, spare legacy.
Yeah.
Coming to a theater near you.
You guys submitted though, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see yours at the premiere then.
Mm.
Okay, good.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. We did many locations. We were ambitious. We probably should have played it safe.
Well, that's that, and this guy is kind of like brings it to what was your intent, or what were you trying to get out of the 48? And me personally, I was trying to experiment. I was trying to do something funky, you know, but I didn't get to do that. I got to just play it safe and do something really, really good, which I really shouldn't complain about, and I'm not. But like at the same time, I wanted to experiment. I wanted to have some fun. I wanted to. I didn't care about winning. Yeah. Winning is not like what to me,
Yeah.
the 48-hour film festival or film project is about seeing what you can do in a restricted amount of time. And I think if you use that to just basically do like a progress report of like your filmmaking, I guess you could do that, and that's fine. And but like I don't feel like I needed to do that. I don't feel like we needed to do that because I kind of already knew if we played it safe, we'd knock it out of the park, and we totally did.
It's just one of those things where everything went really well. I feel like everybody was on their game. I mean, we didn't end up playing it safe, but I thought the jokes were pretty good. They were well written. Paul was on point, and like, this is the very first time, like, because I've worked on a couple of projects up to this point now, and up until this point, I was like, I'm not sure about my acting. I feel like I'm a little stiff sometimes. Sometimes that performance isn't really up to date. And then I watched the cut, and like I still have critiques, but this is the very first time that I was able to watch myself and not really like cringe or wince because I can hear all the parts where I made mistakes. So Brittany did a good job. Paul did a good job. I'm okay with my performance. Everybody got it done pretty quickly. I don't know how the editing process was because you guys went to Culver's, but
Well, me and Lana went to Culver's, but it was mostly
what? We
me
got to
and
stop
Carla.
saying Culver's if they're not paying us. They went to a Butterburger and custard
joint.
dispensary
Yeah, I guess you could call it that.
that shall not be named until they bring us our.
Yeah, I do have a
fucking
question.
check.
What the fuck is a butter burger? What does that mean?
So when they so a butter burger it's usually a smash burger. So you cook,
I know what a
is.
smash
Yeah.
burger is.
So they make a smash burger, and on the
Sounds
bun
dirty.
they butter the ever living crap out of the top part of the bun.
That's all that is?
Well, it's not all that is because then they put butter on the burger, or they're supposed to. They don't always. Culver's doesn't. So it's not a true butter burger in my opinion. A true butter burger would be a place like Solly's. Solly's off Northport Washington Road. They actually you can see the frickin' butter on there. It still isn't all the way melted. That's how much butter is on there, and it tastes like a kiss from God.
It's good?
It's so good. It's so horrible for you. I only have I like limited myself to one a year if I'm gonna have one, and I don't always have one every year because it's just that terrible for you. And
It sounds horrible for you.
You feel it in your heart. Your heart's like, oh fuck,
Skrillex.
Sonny Moore
What does a butter burger have to do with social critique?
from first to last.
Butter critique.
Butter
Butter
critique.
critique?
Better butter critique. Better critique.
Better butter nutter.
Lutter.
This is devolving quickly.
It's
I'm
already
lost.
devolved.
What are we at?
So I think we're at an hour. I think that wraps up the podcast.
Zach, Lana, Alex, just power hour.
I'm gonna make it 48 minutes long exactly. I'm not
Okay,
kidding.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
28-minute podcast.
Listening to the Night Shift Podcast. Listening to the Night Shift Podcast.